The new Nigeria People's Party has rejected claims by a faction led by Dr. Boniface Aniebonam and his allies, who asserts they have assumed control of the party's leadership. In a statement jointly signed by the National Legal Advisor, Robert Hahn, and the National Publicity Secretary, Ladipo, the NNPP leadership labeled the claims as misleading propaganda, orchestrated by imposters working for unnamed paymasters to destabilize the party. The party also dismissed a purported judgment obtained by the faction from the Abia State High Court. It is a pyrrhic victory with no legal standing. The NNPP leadership insists the judgment was fraudulently obtained and is currently being challenged in court. Well, joining me on the program this evening is Ladipo, who, of course, is the confirmed National Publicity Secretary of the NNPP. It joins me virtually. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much for having me. But first, may I, on behalf of the new Nigeria People's Party, send our commiserations to the people of Oyo State over the stampede that you just mentioned. It is a shame, especially when, as you say, about 20 children were confirmed dead. It is a sad event, and we pray that the good Lord will grant their souls sweet repose and give Oyo State's indigents the fortitude to bear the loss. Thanks for having me here.
All right, thank you so much. And really sad time in Oyo State. Our heart goes out to them. It's great to have you on the program, Mr. Ladipo. Let me start by asking, what exactly is going on within NNPP? It doesn't look like this storm will thaw out soon.
Well, I think that we should put things in perspective. We don't have a crisis. Just last week, we had the annual verification exercise by the Independent National Electoral Commission. And as you know, and as Nigerians have seen, it was done at 11 Mahatma Gandhi, Area 11, Abuja, which is the headquarters of the party. What we have, we keep saying, are people who have been expelled, suspended and expelled from the party. They have continued, as we said, we believe that they have their paymasters. They've continued to hold press conferences, to make all sorts of claims. They've had about 6, 7 cases in court. There's some still in court, and virtually all of them have been thrown out. Of course, you mentioned Abia, which we'll come to. And the electoral umpire recognizes the Dr. Ajuji Ahmed-led New Nigeria People's Party. We are intact. In 2025, by God's special grace, you will see that the party will continue its role as a constructive opposition party at the national level and in all states. It will continue its role as the ruling party in Kano State. And we will we're trying to grow the base of the party as we work towards 2027. Now, I agree with you. You said it doesn't seem that this will stop. I know for certain that these people are sponsored and they will continue to create crisis around the party. They are not within the party.
I would like you to be very specific. You keep saying these people, and then you keep saying words about being sponsored by paymasters. I would like you to really hit the nail on the head. Who are these people? And what are their sponsors?
Yeah. The people I'm talking about, as you well know, Dr. Boniface Aniebonam, my friend Gilbert Agbo Major, my friend Sunday Olaposi Ogini, and many others. These are the people. Who are those that I believe they're working with? I believe that they're working in consonance with the APC, the party at the center, and the major opposition party in Kano State where we are in government. Why do I say this? I'm not talking flippantly. Even before the governor of Kano was confirmed, his election was confirmed by the Supreme Court, these people who are former members, I don't want to say that they're not a faction as far as I'm concerned. A faction is a smaller part of a bigger part. They're not part of us. So this group, right, that is fine. This group had a press conference, held a press conference, supporting the case of the APC at the Court of Appeal and at the Supreme Court. They didn't support us. They have suspended, purportedly suspended Senator Kwankwaso, purportedly suspended His Excellency the Governor of Kano State, myself, and many others. They have even expelled us. Fine, because we never belong to whatever they have as a group. So that is why I say. And then when you look at the crisis in Kano, during the Emirates crisis, they supported the position of the APC. The last one was the crisis for the election of the local governments.
But Dr. Boniface Aniebonam is the founder of the party. Are you saying that he is working against the same party he founded?
Yes, he has to, because he has been he's been expelled from the party. You understand? It's unfortunate. It's an unfortunate situation, almost laughable, and that's why I'm laughing, because he's someone that I really respected. We always spoke. I won't say we were close, but I respected him, and I kept telling him when the issues started at that time. I kept telling him that, you know, sir, these boys are leading you in the wrong direction. The bottom line, the crux of it at the end of the day, forget everything around it. The crux of it regarding Dr. Boniface Aniebonam was when he said that as he says he's the founder, I say he's one of the founders, but yes, he's the main driver. As the main driver of the party, he was overriding decisions of NEC, not even the National Working Committee, of NEC, the National Executive Committee, and it is not possible. Not the constitution of the party, not the constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And that was when they had to be suspended and subsequently expelled. It is unfortunate. Now, Nigerians love sentiments. They say, someone who's the founder of the party, how can you send him away? We follow the law. We follow rules and procedures. It's not about sentiment.
But he also claimed, I'm getting at somewhere here, he also claimed that he is following the law and that the constitution of the party clearly states that as founder is a lifetime member. So, I mean, okay, I would like you to react to that, yes.
If you have a constitution, I don't know, you have a constitution, and it says that you are a lifetime member. What is the implied, what are the implied terms there? It is you're a lifetime member if you do what a member is meant to do. If they make you a lifetime member of Ikoyi Club, you cannot go to the club and start fighting and you say they won't suspend you. It's not possible. And he should test this in court. He shouldn't go around doing all sorts of things. Right? Because I will refer him and all Nigerians to the Supreme Court case of Abga, Okori and Abga. It's happened before.
Okay.
And the Supreme Court said for you to think that one individual is bigger than a party under the Electoral Act and under the Constitution is ludicrous.
Okay, you know what, Ladipo Johnson, we'll go on a quick break. When we return, New Central had a sit down. I had a sit down with Dr. Boniface Aniebonam, and he had quite a couple of things to say. I would do a playback of that interview or some excerpts of that interview and get your reaction. Do stay with us. Many thanks for staying with us. This, of course, is still Politics HQ on New Central Television, and we at this time are discussing the leadership crisis within the New Nigeria People's Party. I have the National Publicity Secretary of the party, Ladipo Johnson, with me virtually. Thank you for staying with me, Mr. Ladipo Johnson. Now, quickly, let's play an interview, an excerpt, part of the interview I had with the founder of the party, Dr. Aniebonam Boniface. He said quite a number of things, but I'll just play a bit of what he said. Do take a listen.
Me, that there is a senator move to put down this party, that destroy it and leave. For whatever reason, I don't know. Otherwise, there's no need for all this. Because this matter we are talking about is something we can sit down and discuss, and we don't need to go through all this.
So you feel that there is more to this?
Yeah, so now it's just a simple act. I just did a very simple thing. I directed the lawyers to write to INEC and tell INEC to hand over. INEC is the government agency charged with responsibility of electoral matters in Nigeria, elections and all that. They are regulators. Ask INEC to hand over the administration of the party to the board, pending the determination of the various suits in court. To the contrary, one expects INEC to use what is called alternative dispute resolution. Call all the parties, what's the problem? That was not done. The action INEC should have caused, they didn't cause it. Then we have to approach the court. What you see here is a mandamus order, a compelling order. That order compelling INEC to hand over the party to the board of the party, pending the determination of the various suits, so that the life of the party be saved. Unemployed characters said you should know them, those that come to television and be talking nonsense that there is no founder. Maybe you have interviewed them, people like Ladipo Johnson, the Secretary General, Ladipo, even Dr. Ahmed Ajuji, doctor, are they, if they are working, if they are seriously engaged, they should have told Kwankwaso, look, there's no need for all this. This man, Dr. Aniebonam, is a man that gave you this opportunity. If I had refused, will he contest? Let us be honest. Let's stop doing things because we want to talk to her.
Well, that was an excerpt of an interview, exclusive interview that I had with the founder of the New Nigeria People's Party, Dr. Boniface Aniebonam. And Ladipo Johnson, I mean, he mentioned you in that interview. I would like your reaction to some of the things he said.
He said I'm a charlatan.
Well, he said
it. Person. You see, my brother, Dako, you see, I think that first, before I go to him, you know the fact that if you're registering an NGO or you're registering a political party, please, can any one person sign? The answer is no, even for an NGO. So I urge the press to rephrase, no matter what he says or his people say. You can say that he is one of the founders, not one person. It's not possible in law. One person is not the founder. But don't let's waste the time of the program on that. But I believe that the press should really lead the way in putting us, the politicians, in the straight and narrow path. That's what I always say, that he's one of the founders. Yes, give it to him. He's not the sole founder. But if he says he wrote to that this is not necessary, of course it isn't necessary. This is a man, Senator Kwankwaso, against our advice, went several times to try to sort this problem out. And this problem, or these problems, because it became a lot of problems, started from within his own group.
How did it start from within his group?
Major, excuse me, sir. Between the then publicity secretary, Agbo Major, and the national secretary, who is still the national secretary. He mentioned his name, Dikpo Olayo. That is where it didn't start from. If we are talking about who joined them in 2002, didn't start from our side. It was when it got to a stage when they wanted to remove the national secretary, they wanted to do all sorts, that we stepped in and said, look, enough is enough. Ordinarily, yes, he's a respected person, Dr. Aniebonam. He's a nice person. But unfortunately, some people kept pushing, and they pushed and pushed, and they're still pushing. And yet, he doesn't seem to understand that they've pushed him over the cliff. It is a simple thing. The point he raised about writing to INEC that the board of trustees should run the party pending all the cases in court, the settlement of the cases in court. It's not possible. We operate a constitution.
But I want to ask you, I mean, the whole scenario, because from my interview with him, the whole scenario looks like...
Please, sir, could you please beg the producer? I'm not being stubborn now.
Okay.
I always say it. Please, if they don't have the new logo, the red and white, they should stop showing this green and whatever one.
But I was getting to that. I was getting to that because right now we know that concerning the party, there's still a couple of legal issues around it. I was going to ask you because from my interview with Dr. Aniebonam, it feels like your faction is trying to hijack the party from him. The height being the change of the logo.
In the spirit of Christmas, I've had a lovely interview with you. You know, I don't want to start to... Are
you hijacking the... It's a simple question, just to clear the air.
The question, nobody is hijacking anything. The bottom line is that you go to the INEC portal or go to INEC, say, where is the logo of the NNPP? Who is the national chairman, national secretary? Is there on the INEC portal. If you go further in, say, please, I want to see the books of the NNPP. They'll show you. Ladipo Johnson is the national publicity secretary. You'll see the list there. There is no talk about hijack. As I said at the beginning, why are we always playing to sentimental things in this country? The Yorubas say, forgive me, afetele and palapalapa. You understand? We always, thank you for the proper logo now. Thank you very much. We always go to sentiments. The bottom line is even when they had an agreement, when they were trying to, when some people came into the party in 2022, they signed a memorandum of understanding between them. Even at that stage, at the beginning, they said, oh, let them start with whatever and whatever and whatever. It was, Dr. Aniebonam said, well, his work is done. He believes Kwankwaso was God sent, that he had been keeping this party. He said it several times. I'm sure if we look for the clips, we'll see. It was Kwankwaso that said to him, no, chairman, you must be chairman of the board. We must do this thing together. You can't go anywhere. And we all started together. As I told you, it was fine through the elections. Dr. Aniebonam was even one of the people that phoned me. He called me, spoke that day for many, about 20, 30 minutes, that Johnson, what sort of national working committee are you? When a chairman did this and that during the elections, this one did this and that, and you are looking at them. That was when the disciplinary procedures started. And unfortunately, the same people that were disciplined ran back to him, and then this whole thing started. The day, I tell you, sir, because I was on the floor of the NEC meeting, the day the suspension came down on him and some of his co-travelers, Senator Kwankwaso didn't even know. Same thing with the expulsion. In fact, a few weeks back, the matter was being discussed, and Senator Kwankwaso was still saying, virtually accusing me, saying that, look, I would have been more patient. I told him, I said, would have been in more trouble now, because we would have had these people within the party causing problems. Now they're outside the party. Now, whether it can be settled or not remains to the leaders. I'm not one of the leaders. I'm a small boy in NNPP. You understand? So it's left to them. But I have no malice, nothing against any of them. The bottom line is I feel that at the moment, we want to go in a particular direction to move the party forward. And it's politics. We need more people. So we can't say you get away. Okay. But if we feel that some people who are sitting in or who are next to us are people who will continue to cause problems at each juncture or junction as you go around, if we're driving a car. And we know that the All Progressives Congress has a way of making sure that opposition parties are in disarray, then we can't keep them.
Okay, just before we go, because I mean, for many observers of this political trend, I mean, many would want to know how eventually this will all pan out. I would ask you my final question, Ms. Ladipo Johnson, is what will be your message to Dr. Boniface Aniebonam and his team?
Well, my message to them would be that the bottom line is that you welcomed us in to the party. They were there before we came in. You welcomed us in. I don't know, I don't want to say what they used to use the party for, but we are serious. We are we're working towards winning elections. If we're on the same page, fine. But at the moment, we're not on the same page. And it will be a joke, waste of time for people like myself, although Dr. Aniebonam says I'm jobless, for people like myself to sit in a party that I know that quarter to 2027, trading begins. We're not for trading. No matter how stupid people feel we are, we want to win elections. We want to work towards winning elections and improving the lives of Nigerians. So that is what we're for. We're not for fighting. And no one, I've never cast aspersions at the person of Dr. Aniebonam. And when I see him, I'll take exception to the fact that he's calling me a charlatan or whatever. He's much older than I am. But he cannot say that I am whatever he says I am now. All because I've held on to some principles and we've taken our stand as to the direction we want the party to go to.
All right, thank you so much for your time on the program. Ladipo Johnson, the National Publicity Secretary of the new Nigeria People's Party. Once again, thank you so much.
And a Merry Christmas in advance, sir.
Likewise, sir. Merry Christmas.